Iuic and Fela Kuti? Yep, what's going on, part of the people, the place to be? I go by the name of the BK Apologist, transmitting all the way live. New York is the city, Brooklyn is the borough. What's good? What's popping? Hope everybody's having a good day. And as always, if you have yet to do so, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend that's him again. And if you like how it goes down with the BK, you can show your appreciation via some digital coinage thrown on top of the link on top of the chat, PayPal. Or if you'd like to be a monthly supporter of BK, you can become a Patreon. We get an assortment of goodies to enhance your personal Bible study. So yeah. So I came across this video and I was quite interested on their take on this. And got my man Walsh. What's going on, sir? Good to see you. Good to see you. And they brought up a famous African musician / activist, Fela Kuti. And I'm like, that's interesting. Why would IUIC be speaking about Fela? You know, I found that very interesting. So I'm gonna play a couple of clips, and you know, I'll have some commentary as always to accompany it. So with that being said, oh, we got Michelle Turner, Bodega ladies on the check-in. You know what I mean? So let's check this out. Angela J, what's good? What's good?
Anthems for the oppressed, and his message resonated with millions of people who were struggling against tyranny and oppression.
Pause it.
He inspired.
Give me Genesis. Give me 49. Give me 27. To this guy, that's why Christ designed all leaders different. You can take your fist to fight, or you can use your voice to fight.
Right.
Different talent, same agenda.
Same agenda, though.
That's why most of the so-called or West Indians, what they do, they preach, they read to what? Music. That's what they do. So now read that now, please.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 27.
Read.
Benjamin.
The what?
Benjamin shall raven as a wolf.
Read it again.
Benjamin.
What tribe is that?
Benjamin.
Read.
Shall raven as a wolf. In the morning, he shall devour the prey.
That's one of the gifts Christ put in the spirit of what? The tribe of Benjamin.
Benjamin.
To inspire, to fight violent oppression. That's one of the songs. So that spirit, it flowed to what? The West, the coast, even America here.
Even America.
Now,
right,
brothers, they have music, they sing in to catch the mind of people.
All right, so you heard him. So remember, the show is about Fela Kuti and how, you know, he's a revolutionary, blah, blah, blah. But I want you to notice the connection that they're trying to make here, right? And the connection, they brought up Israel, right? And the tribe of Benjamin. And now they don't say that Fela is an Israelite specifically from the tribe of Benjamin. They don't say that word for word, but they want you to make that connection. Right? It's like, oh, he's this revolutionary. He does this, you know. Oh, read this Genesis verse for me. Benjamin. Who? Benjamin. Ravenous wolves and this, right? Because, you know, they use their this and that. He's trying to make a correlation between Fela and the tribe of Benjamin. Now it's plausible deniability on their part, because nowhere in the video do the sentence Fela Kuti is an Israelite. They never say that. and they'll be quick to be like, hey, we never made that claim. But they put this out there so that you can make the connection for yourself. And it's actually a very powerful rhetorical technique, because if you could come to the conclusion on your own, thinking that you put it together, it resonates more with you. Okay. So with that, just give me a minute. I want to play the next clip. Let's see here. Just give me a second, guys. All right, here we go. Talks among yourselves. Talks among yourselves. All right, here we go. Where am I? Okay, here we go. On 11. All right. Here we go.
Mental change of oppression, the mental change of colonization.
Right.
That's what the truth would do. And that's what the revolutionary men or brothers, that's what they knew. And they wanted that for their people. Just like us today, the Israelites.
Right.
We doing this. We the modern day revolutionaries.
Modern day
That's
revolution.
right.
Under Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Yawasep, Bishop Kanai, all right, under IUIC. We are the modern day revolutionaries doing what? Following the steps after the Black Messiah, Jesus Christ, and the 12 disciples.
That's right. That's right.
Who were revolutionaries themselves?
Revolution.
So, again, remember the show's about Fela Kuti. And notice how they've now made another connection between themselves and Fela. Right? Because they're saying now that, because they showed a couple of clips of Fela, some documentaries about how much of a revolutionary he is and how he tried to help his people from the oppression and tyranny. And then they turn around and say, well, we are the modern day version of that. We are the new revolutionaries, right? IUIC under, the covering of Bishop Nathaniel and what have you, right? So again, here's another connection. So at first they talked about how, well, they didn't say it, but they alluded to the fact that he's acting as if he's a Benjamite from ancient Israel. And then now they're saying, well, he was a revolutionary like us, like who we are now. We're cut from that same cloth. So you see, they're trying to make this connection here. And so I'm building a case. I want to play one more clip from them. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. All right, so let me go right here. Uh-huh. 106. Okay. Here we go. Here we go.
Over music.
Over music.
Why? Well, we about to find out. Read that verse.
It's the book of
Or
John,
verses.
chapter 11, verse 45.
Uh-huh.
Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus did believed on him.
Uh-huh.
But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Jesus had done.
Remember, these are all brothers. This is family. This is the same group of people. All right, come on.
Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
Guess what? Fela Kuti is exposing us. He is exposing what we are about. These things shouldn't be happening. If we let him alone, many's going to start believing on him, taking his views.
That's it.
You understand? Read on.
If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
So, and here's another connection they're trying to make with Fela, right? That, you know, it's similar to what, you know, the issue that Christ had. Oh, you know, if we don't stop Christ, people are gonna start believing what he says, like Fela, right? So let me share this. This is what they're saying. Okay. Then he's going to start believing in him, taking his views. But we have to stop him from talking. Right? So they're trying to make another analogous connection. This time with Christ. Right? So what was Fela's views though? Because we keep hearing that he was revolutionary and this, that, and the other. Well, how was he being revolutionary? Right? That's the question. So I have this article, The Cultural Revitalization and Resistance, the Religious Politics of Fela and Kuti and Bishop Matthew Kuka. So we're going to focus, of course, on Fela, right? What was the religious politics of Fela Kuti? Fela showed his African identity through various means. For instance, he adopted indigenous religious practices in his everyday life. His famous shrine was not merely a music venue, but a place of spiritual expression, while rituals and acts of worship were carried out. His polygamous marriage to 27 women in 1978 was conducted by an Ifa priest, demonstrating his adherence to African traditional customs. All right? Fela openly embraced and practiced the religion of his ancestors, expressing this through the music and his life. Music as a medium has long been recognized for its power to connect with the spiritual realm through the inherent nature of sound. Among the senses that provide knowledge, hearing is unique in allowing the human mind, and particularly the religious imagination, to grasp and experience the transcendent in a spiritual, significant way. In this sense, music serves as a form of presence that does not seek to give answers, but instead draws both the performer and the listener into a shared space. Fela used music not only as a form of artistic expression, but also as a tool to rejuvenate and promote indigenous religious practices. This dude was not trying to defend the Bible at all. He was very much against the Bible. Now you could say, well, it's, you know, it was what the, you know, how the white man used the Bible is what he's against. Fine. Right? And as a side, have white people in the past used the Bible in very deceitful and hurtful ways? Yes. Right? And even if he's fighting against that, what is he replacing it with? This African indigenous religious practices. Fela's shrine can be understood and recognized as both a place of worship and a religious temple, as it embodies all the key features of a shrine, including liturgy, sacrifices, and the presence of religious functionaries, serving as a site for spiritual devotion. As Adone notes, the term shrine was deeply significant to Fela, who used the space to realize his Pan-African ideology. He viewed the shrine as a place of worship comparable to a church or mosque, aligning with the political ideals of figures as Kwame Nkrumah, Malcolm X, and Marcus Garvey. During this research, Femi Kuti, who joined his father's band at 16, confirmed in a personal interview at the Africa Shrine on December 26, 2018, that he adheres to the African indigenous religion. He emphasized that African deities like Shango, Izu, Ifa, and Ogun, and the ancestors and venerated in the shrine. However, he explained that the rituals of veneration extend beyond the pouring of libations and include other symbolic actions. This is what he's promoting, guys. Part of his revolution is that these people, his people, need to come back to the religion of the ancestors and not pray to Yahweh, but to pray to Shango, Esau, Ifa, Ogun. But that flies in the face of Exodus 20, verse 3, though, right? You shall have no other gods before me. But you guys are making this analogous connection between him and Israel, that he's similar, that he got the same spirit. No, he don't. This man's advocating for foreign gods. 1 Corinthians 10. No, I implied that what pagans sacrifice, they offer to demons and not to God. I do not want you to be participants with demons. Fela Kuti was participating with demons. Part of his revolution is to persuade his brethren to return back to the participation of praying to what they considered gods, but really are what? Demons. Back to the paper. In the interviews conducted with Olakan and a museum, Rilon Fabami, and S.A. Adil at the Calcutta Museum on December 18, 2019, who are notable members of Fela's band, it was consistently highlighted that before any musical performance at the shrine, Fela would perform symbolic rituals. One such ritual involved divination, which he would conduct immediately upon entering the shrine. This divination was carried out using cowrie shells, a palm oil soaked wick, honey, a bottle of gin, and notably his marijuana, which he considered a sacred herb. I'm sure he did. But listen, if you went to the Fela concert, you was now involved in this ritual to these other deities in divination. And what does the Bible say about divination? Iuic. You guys know this. Deuteronomy 18, verse 9. When you come into the land that your Lord your God has given you, you shall not learn to follow the abominable practices of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone who burns his son or his daughter as an offering, anyone who practices divination or tells fortunes or interprets omens, or a sorcerer or a charmer or a medium or a necromancer, or one who inquires of the dead. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord your God is driving them out before. Fela is participating in what the Bible would call an abomination. He's a practitioner of divination. So why in the world are you guys celebrating this guy? Well, you know, he's trying to get them to see things through his view. Yeah, you're right. This is the view. This is the view. Shango and Oshun and Ogun, that's the view. Practicing divination during his concerts, that's his view. And how he wants his African brethren to come back to that and not the Bible. But here you are trying to celebrate and try to make some sort of connection with this guy. Back to the paper. Look what he does here. After another significant ritual was the sacrifice of a fowl. Fela would grab the fowl, place his foot on its neck, and pull its legs to kill it. Afterward, he would suck the blood from the freshly slaughtered fowl. According to Olurenyomi, this act symbolized Fela's deeper connection with spiritual forces. The spirits were believed to arrive at the moment of the fowl's death, as Fela would lose consciousness and communicate through signs, aiming to break free from the incomprehensible experience. This suggests that Fela was primarily focused on rituals of propitiation, invoking the favor of the deities to ensure his continued success. So in order for him to, in his mind, to win and to overcome the tyranny and the oppression that he was going through, he had to invoke the energies of these foreign gods. Well, to us, foreign gods. To Ogun, Oshun. And to invoke their presence, he would do these rituals. Right? He would suck the blood from fleshly slaughtered fowl. And again, IUIC, you know the law, statutes, commandments, right? You know Leviticus 17, verse 10. If anyone of the house of Israel or of the strangers who sojourn among them eats any blood, I will set my face against that person who eats blood and will cut him off from among his people. If Fela was around Israel during the Mosaic covenant, he would be cut off from his people. He's practicing divination. He's eating the blood of animals. Where according to Torah, we're not supposed to be doing any of that at all. All right. Additionally, Fela poured libations to honor his deified ancestors, which included figures like Malcolm X, Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, and his mother, Fela Kuti. I butchered that name. I'm sorry. Before each musical performance. This practice is rooted in ancestral veneration, a key component of African indigenous religion. As these rituals of divination, fowl sacrifice, and libations were carried out, a low but gradually intensifying background of music played. This is during his show, guys. You go to a theater or a stadium or a club to see Fela perform. Before the music even gets underway, you're caught up in these various rituals of divination, fowl sacrifice, and libations to the ancestors. This is what he was about. IUIC is like, yeah. And then what they said, well, we're the current version of people like him. Are you really? You sure? The music featured traditional instruments such as the metal gong, bass drum, wooden clef, sakure, and cymbals. Following these preparatory rituals, Fela and his band members and dancers would take the stage, perform and entertain an audience that had been often waited long into the night. During performances at the shrine, Fela would often pause to offer further sacrifices to the ancestors and deities, particularly Ogun, Shango, and Isu. These practices were part of Fela's effort to lift Africa out of its dire conditions. He believed that Africans can transform their suffering and injustice into peace and justice, but this transformation required a return to the indigenous deities. His revolution was based on Ogun, Shango, and Isu. That's what his revolution was based on. He believed that doing the divination, the sucking of birds' blood, he believed that this was the way to lift Africa from its situation. His revolution was inspired and was structured by his belief in Ogun, Shango, and Isu. But he's like Benjamin, though. Really? Oh, we're just like him. Are you really? You're the most modern iteration of this? Deuteronomy 32. You guys love Deuteronomy. You know this well. Verse 17. They sacrificed to demons that were not God, to gods they had never known, to new gods they had come recently, whom your fathers have never dreaded. Listen, he's sacrificing the demons in a shrine that doubles as his performance space. And you're there and you're partaking in these demonic rituals. And he believed that in doing these rituals to these deities, that this was the revolution. Like, this is what powered, this was the engine that propelled him to do what he did. Wasn't Yahweh, wasn't the Bible. But yet again, you're highlighting this dude and celebrating him and trying to make analogous connections with this guy. So I got to call hypocrisy. I got to call hypocrisy on you guys. Because you constantly talk about how pagan Christians and Christianity is. How do I know? Your thumbnails tell us. Right? Here's one right here. Christianity is the face of paganism and Hellenism. How about this one? With Deacon Malachi, pagan Christianity. Pagan Christians always trying to be deep. Right? You call the Christians pagans all the time. You banging us all the time. You guys follow your ancient pagan, you follow these pagan holidays, but you don't follow the festivals of the Lord, and pagan this, pagan that. But here you are in this video, bigging up a pagan. I mean, a legit pagan. Pouring libations, sucking the blood out of birds that he killed, also to rituals, while he's doing his musical set in front of hundreds of thousands of people. But the Christians are the pagans? Come on, guys. Let's keep that same energy. If we're pagans, and we actually at least we have some semblance to the Bible, then what about this dude? Fela's not trying to be a Christian at all. In fact, he's trying to get that out of his people. That's what he's trying to do. But here you are, to the videos, like, great revolutionary Fela. Now listen, as a caveat, anyone that tries to help and empower Black and brown people when it comes to them being marginalized and depowered, anyone that comes to tries to deal with those social ills, yes, we salute that. Thank you. That's great. But also, we got to look at the reasoning behind it, though. So, yeah, he's a revolutionary. He wants to get people out of oppression. But what is it that he wants to get them into, though? Shango and Ogun. He's a pagan. He's drinking bird's blood on stage. He's a pagan. But, it's cool because he's a revolutionary. But you Christians, Easter, Istar, Christmas tree, Jeremiah 10, everything about you is pagan, right? Condemn us left and right. But Fela was a dyed-in-the-wool, passionate, dogmatic pagan. So I call hypocrisy. If we're pagans, you got to condemn him too. And not only did you not condemn him, you try to make some weird connection between you and him. This dude wasn't talking to the Yahweh. This dude wasn't thinking about no laws, statutes, commandments. He was thinking about ancestral worship. That's what he was talking about. So I gotta call hypocrisy. It's like, if we're pagans, your man over here drinking bird blood and libations and in the shrine and doing all sorts of stuff, which was the engine for his revolution, that you guys are so happy to say that you are an extension of. Now, I do have some conjecture on why you guys are really doing this. This is just my opinion. But I know you guys have been trying to make some inroads into the African continent. And what better way, to do that, to endear yourself to one of the continent's favorite sons of the revolution, in Fela. Right? My opinion, it's just my opinion. It just seems very interesting to me. But again, Fela's not, even if he is an Israelite by blood, he's sure not acting like one. And you guys should be condemning them. You condemn us every chance you get. Oh, these Christians are pagan. The pastor is pagan. The deacon is pagan. Quick to throw that word around with us. Keep that same energy with a dude that drinks bird blood. Keep that energy. Keep that energy. So that's what I want to share. Again, I hope you're seeing the pattern here. You know, it's very weird. You know, they completely omit the driving force of his revolution. They love talking about him being a revolutionary, but they completely omit what was the engine that propelled the revolution. That engine is filled with bird's blood, libations, and prayers to Oshun and Ogun and Isu. And as an actual Israelite, you're supposed to be condemning that kind of activity, not celebrating, not trying to make these connections between him and Benjamin, or saying that you guys are the most recent iteration of revolutionaries like Fela Kuti. All right. Then you turn around and tell us we're the pagans. I tell you right now, nobody I run with drinking bird blood right now. Not happening over in this side, fam. We ain't doing none of that. Nobody's pouring out no libations over here. Not the UA. But here you are celebrating this. Making connections between him and you. When this man is a rank pagan. It doesn't get more pagan than this dude. Doing rituals and sacrifices on stage while he's performing. And that's before the music starts. Then somewhere in the middle of the concert, he takes another break to do more sacrifices for his ancestors. So it's crazy to me. Crazy to me. You know, call us pagan, but look who you're celebrating. Look who you are lifting up a whole video for. Man that does not pray to Yahweh, but to Shango Isu. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. And yeah, that's about it, guys. I just want to share that with you. I want to expose their hypocrisy. And you know, like they want the people of the African continent to be with them. And they're using this to make inroads with them, in my opinion. Because why else would you bring up a man who is clearly a pagan? Unless there's something else going on, in my opinion. Right? So with that being said, guys, this is BK signing off. Peace.